tomorrow something is gonna happen that something that I've been thinking for years and years. So it's I can't really describe how I feel right now, but I just know I'm gonna have trouble sleeping tonight for sure. And yeah, I just feel really, really lucky, you know, to be able to live this life, you know.
Yeah, I love that dude.
Shout out to the velour tracksuit there.
Dude, he's my favorite player. He hasn't even played basketball in the NBA yet, but he is my favorite player. That was Victor Wembanyama ahead of NBA draft night, which is tonight. We bring in Noor Zainab of Hoop Talks. A lot to talk about. I mean, there's a few storylines surrounding this NBA draft. I want to speak to maybe the average fan. If you want to tune in, I mean, what storylines should they be looking for? And when I was thinking about this question to ask you, I'm like, there's only one, really. And it's Victor.
Yeah.
They're going to say trades.
No, I mean, the main storyline for this
Yeah.
draft is you're getting a
But you're not
generational
gonna
talent is joining
remember
San Antonio.
the trades that happened today. You will remember the guys that were picked who were going to be the #1 player in this draft, which is Victor Wembanyama. And the hype that he's had, I don't think we've seen that happen since the likes of LeBron or maybe even Zion. It wasn't anything much like. It was a little bit hyped up, but not the level with this, because we see just a different kind of animal in that, and maybe the body kind of type is there as well. With Zion, you had the worry about like, okay, is he a little bit too big to be that explosive? And with Wemby, you're like, is he too thin to be that explosive? But I think he's been given the perfect spot with Pop, with the Spurs, and he's going to blossom.
It sounds like a match made in heaven.
100%.
I mean, he's not. The thing is,
Proprietors
everyone
got it
wants to
right.
compare him to Tim Duncan, and I get it. Going to San Antonio, Pop is the coach. Pop was the coach of Tim Duncan, but Tim was at Wake Forest for 4 seasons.
4 seasons.
Right?
So
Much more polished player.
Again, yeah.
They're just two different guys. I can understand the comparison, though, and I think it's just a great fit. Is there any way, and maybe I shouldn't even pose this question, that San Antonio go off of him and go to Scoot? There's no chance that's happening?
There's no chance.
Pop just
Listen,
is
I'm
about to
representing
sign.
the average fan, too. I want to know,
There's
is it
no chance in
possible?
hell.
Should I tune in because he might not get picked?
Let me just say this. Pop was going to retire. And he's about to sign an extension now because it just picked up Wemby.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that tells you how much excitement this league alone is going to have just with his entry into the league. And then on top of that, just the Spurs, because they had so much excitement for a big part of their franchise. They were such a successful franchise too. The past couple of years, obviously having let go of a big part of their core, having to kind of build up their young guys. They've been kind of flaky there, but Wemby is going to be kind of like a rebirthing place for them now, even for Pop.
Yeah, and when you look at the Spurs organization, they built their history. Even going back to David Robinson threw a big man. David Robinson.
The Admiral.
The Admiral, exactly. Then Tim Duncan comes in, and that's what they've kind of been. Then they had Jakob Poeltl between Tim Duncan and now Victor Wembanyama.
Why do you gotta do that?
I'm just saying that's what. Hey, reports are that Jakob Poeltl might even go back to San Antonio. Okay, we'll touch on that in a second. But
we'll talk about the Raptors.
I will say this
Continue.
though, Victor Wembanyama, this is going to be a historic moment for the San
Say his name
Antonio
again?
Spurs. Victor Wembanyama.
It's wrong.
Dude, don't worry. I screwed up all the time.
Wembanyama.
Wembanyama.
You said bum. You
Wembanyama.
called him
when
a
you
bum.
look at it, sound it out.
Can I
as
ask
you're reading it.
Wembanyama?
We need to come up with a
Wembanyama.
nickname. Wemby's not it. Like he
What
needs.
else would you call him?
I don't know. He needs a nickname. I don't know
Vic.
what it is.
Let's call him Vic.
I heard the croissant over. That's
What?
The croissant over. He's
Oh, from the
French.
Where are you
baguettes to
finding
the
these
croissant,
nicknames
the
from?
Gobert.
How bad is that?
Were you like scouring
No.
NBA Reddit?
I have
last
one.
night? Victor Wembanyama.
He
I have a
could
really
be-
good one, but it's X-rated. I'll tell you off the
Okay,
air.
tell us off the air.
He could be the Eiffel Tower.
That's not bad.
Right?
I don't mind
I've
that.
not
seen
bad.
that so much. That's
I
too
haven't
basic.
seen that once. I just made it up on the spot right now. You're
What's more
welcome.
important? What's he going to do in his career or his nickname? Maybe a nickname. Okay, so let's talk expectations. Sean, if you can throw up the Rookie of the Year odds. He's obviously favored, and I think rightfully so, based on his expectation. -160, which I already hammered. I think it's almost a no-brainer. That's me saying, I haven't watched this guy play, but he's 7'5", hyped the way that LeBron was. This should be a player that should exceed his expectations. Then you have Scoot on there, +400. Chet Holmgren, who didn't play last season, +700. And Brandon Miller, +1,600, who might go second.
But we don't know now. This morning, everything's saying that Scoot might go second now.
But
So-
it depends who the Hornets kind of value, right?
Yeah.
Like if you have already a guy in a point guard with LaMelo, would you not rather have someone that can help LaMelo? Would you want to have two, primary ball handling kind of guys, which is kind of
Right.
who Scoot is, right? But Brandon Miller is a forward, so he can come in there. He's a good 3-point threat as well. So you give him a ball, LaMelo passes it out. I can see why they could go the other way. And let's not forget, like Masai, everybody thought Masai's going to go with Suggs. Out of nowhere, he surprised the entire world and took Scotty. So we never know who they're actually going to go with.
So fill in the blank. Who's going to be Rookie of the Year?
I think you have to say Victor.
Yeah.
Wembanyama.
Wembanyama.
What's with this bum?
I don't know, man.
Wembanyama.
Wembanyama. Okay, whatever.
Just call him. Give him a
Victor.
nickname.
Victor
Can't ever
Wemby. I'm
come
gonna say
at me.
Wemby. Okay, Wemby.
All
Okay, it's clear cut. But my biggest concern is with this is, can he sustain the whole NBA season? Okay, 65 games to reach the limit to qualify for these awards.
And if his numbers or his minutes are going to be capped, possibly.
Possibly, like it's going to be interesting to see how he develops into the NBA, because again, we mentioned his weight. Can he get bigger? Can he get stronger during the season? Because it's going to be a grueling NBA season for him, because it's going to be different than what it is in Europe. Excuse me. So that's my biggest factor. If I wanted to do the second pick, I'm probably going to go Scoot. I think Scoot's body is more NBA ready. It just depends on where he falls. Does he go to Portland? Does he go to Charlotte? Does somebody trade up to get him? Like, we don't know what's going on
It
right now.
depends what the team needs in that
Exactly.
moment too, right?
Big
so
talker.
that's what it comes
from
down
Scoot
to.
Henderson.
Yeah. You know his real name is Sterling?
Yeah,
No,
we
I didn't
just
know
found
that.
today, yeah.
His real name
Okay,
is
there you go.
Sterling.
This is why you tune into the show. 'Cause
Yeah,
learn
I
these
don't know where you
things.
get Scoop from Sterling.
I don't
That's
mind
works,
Scoot. I
yeah.
watched him play against the 905 actually.
Oh, really?
he looked really good.
Well,
That's
we
all I can
got an
say.
analyst right
There-
over
there-
here.
That's my
in the
scouting.
flesh.
Wow,
Yeah,
that guy looks pretty
NBA
good.
scouting
He's
report.
better than everybody else.
That guy's
He's
pretty
probably
good.
going to play in the NBA. Scoot Henderson. Okay, so the Toronto Raptors.
Yes.
What are they going to do?
They have a bunch of options they can go for. I've heard names about Keontae George, Kobe Buffkin, but for me, I think if you're especially at a spot where you're lacking in the ball handling space, which I think a lot of the NBA right now kind of is, and with Freddie and his contract coming up, not sure what's happening there. The depth part of it, they need to go get a point guard that can pass, and that's why I'm looking at Carson Wallace, who's been averaging 5 assists this past season. The other guys have been good as well, but they're more of a shooting threat than they are anything else. And I'm looking at someone who's going to take the charge in facilitating, and I'm hoping that's what Masai and Bobby are thinking as well. But again, you can't. I think I'm better off guessing next year's NFL winner than I can guess what Masai's going to do today.
Who's going to win the
Nobody's
Super
an
Bowl
idea.
then?
The Niners, guys.
No.
Tune in. My new team, by
Brock
the way.
Purdy might be taking them to the promised land. Okay, maybe flip the question then. Are the Raptors going to make a big move with a player that can play right now, whether it's a star or someone in that category?
You mean in terms of like before the draft
Yeah.
today, if they can trade?
Yeah, is there a
Well,
big
there's
move on
the-
the horizon from the side?
There's a lot of talks and them working with the Blazers, wanting to trade up to that third pick and seeing what they can get from that. And the only thing is time's ticking now. They can definitely still go ahead and make that trade after the Blazers have gone and acquired their pick. Only thing is now they don't have the flexibility and the pleasure of picking their own guy. They kind of have to go and get whoever
Right.
they drafted. So anything can still happen. It's not like they have to make a decision now, but had they really wanted to move up in the draft, I think it would have happened prior to today. It would have happened prior to today.
I think with this Porzingis and Smart trade, it might have opened up the floodgates now for more deals. Look, the Atlanta Hawks have been reportedly very aggressive on Pascal Siakam, sending multiple offers to Toronto for that. Can you get a guy like DeAndre Hunter, maybe a DeJounte
yeah,
Murray?
what comes back?
It depends, right? Whatever. I think if I'm Masai Ujiri, I am working those formats. That's why I don't know if they're gonna take this 13th pick. All I've been hearing is they want to move up in the draft. They want to move up in the
But
draft.
dude, you got how many hours left now? They gotta do things.
There's still
now.
time. The draft is what, 3 hours away?
Yeah, but I think
And how many-
I think it's more likely they make a move after, according to the draft, than to do today before the draft.
I mean, it would be so Toronto Raptors to tease up everything going up ahead to the draft
Yep.
and then just standing
That's
pat.
the Masai way to go
Standing
about
pat.
things.
Okay, I know you want to touch on this. Marcus Smart going to the Memphis Grizzlies. Chris Stapps
Your guy.
going to the
First
Boston
of all,
Celtics.
no one can make fun of me for loving and supporting Marcus Smart anymore. He's on the Boston Celtics, guys, with the Memphis Grizzlies. But this is actually a super interesting trade because for me, the Celtics, their problem the entire last season, in the postseason as well, was their late game offense. They had no playmaking. They had nobody to pass the ball around. They had two guys in Brogdon and then Marcus Smart, and they were shopping both. So that makes me think trades are about to happen, and the Celtics are going to go and maybe get themselves a proper ball handler and a playmaker. And it could be maybe someone
Paul?
it could be Chris Paul. They could be targeting Fred VanVleet in free agency as well. You never
a
know.
lot of money,
It's
though,
a lot
right?
of money, and I think, I don't know. I think
Fred fits
I
that
think
team
it's
so
He
well,
does,
actually.
though. He does. I think.
but
would
he's
be a
not going
really
to
good
shoot the
fit.
ball. You know, Fred likes to shoot the ball. You know, there's only one ball.
Well,
to
he's
go
in a
around.
position
But
where
if
he
you
doesn't
win,
need
you
to.
pass. Exactly.
You know, Fred
Right.
likes to shoot the ball. He likes to get his points.
That's
You know,
true.
we've known that.
Well, the draft is coming up tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I don't think there's going to be anything too crazy going down. But Noor Zainab, as always, you're amazing. Thanks for jumping on. Okay, we're switching gears. We're bringing in Sarah Pariah. We're going to talk Messi, a little football coming up after the break.